Hello, beautiful beings. Love and laughter, Tanya Rainbows here. This video is for you beautiful people on your energy healing path. This is video number 3 of a 5 video series of getting unstuck. I dedicated 5 videos, or will have by the end of the series, 5 videos to getting unstuck, doing energy healings and channeling a message. Because I'm experiencing pushing myself through getting unstuck, and there's a lot of good energy around it. We're almost moving into spring time, the zodiac new year, and there's a lot of new energy coming forward. And so we're in that last push of shedding some big stuff off so we can burst out into new beginning. And this video, number 3, is dedicated to the chaos. It's kind of like the eye of the storm. It's the center, the heavy part, the crazy wild part where all the magic is really happening. When the old is going up against the new, where you could feel a little wacky up in the head. You could be back and forth. You could be fighting yourself. You can have all of it, a little bit of it, some of it. I spent about 3 hours back and forth with an internal struggle, internal battle. It felt like the angel and the devil, or it felt like the masculine and the feminine going at it. It just felt like 2 opposing voices going at each other, trying to solve problems, trying to solve solutions, trying to tell me this, trying to tell me that. Illusions galore from different perspectives. It's a wild experience. And it's the part that's not comfortable. So learning how to ground into it and be present and observe it, and not allow it to suck you in fully is a fine art that I haven't quite mastered yet. But each time I do it, it's a little different, and I find a way to move through it, and it usually doesn't fully suck me in like it used to, but every once in a while there's one that throws me for a loop and I'm like, whoa, what was that? You know, you get whirlwinded in there before you even know what's happening to you. Oh, thank you, Biscuit, for that contribution to the conversation. So it's really finding a way to feel safe when it feels crazy and uncertain and chaotic and wacky, and finding a way to just hold through it is really where I'm talking about. And it's probably not the funnest part to play with, to talk about, to connect with, to be in the energy of, and to witness. But what I love about it is after you are in the eye of it, something very beautiful comes out the other end. So there's a big insight, a big energy release, a big awareness, perception shift, synchronicities, alignments, little things like that, like usually present themselves after moving through the chaos. And I definitely experienced that today for myself. I was in the chaos for a couple hours, you know, just navigating that, and near the end of it, then I did finally get myself focused on listening to something and to pull out of the emotional pull of it. And then when I got home, it was like that energy was like, all right, now we've got some new fine-tuned skills here. We're gonna try out, we're gonna see how you respond to similar situations in different ways. So I was triggered with anger, and instead of snapping back and getting angry and just like falling into like old beliefs, I felt the anger, and before I said anything, I was like, what's the message here? And I blurted out clear communication of what the problem was for me, and moved past it. Like, just no big deal. Like my everyday cleaning house situation. I'm like, here it is, boom, bad, boom, all right. And then moments later, I was tested again by a different person, and before I allowed myself to get into arguing, super worked up and angry, I stopped and I was like, I'm cutting it off. I don't want to give my energy to this. This isn't worth it to me. I'm done. And so once I decided to cut that off, it shifted the whole situation. So right there, coming on the other side of chaos, 2 great stretching and growing opportunities came for me, and I was able to navigate them in a different way. And after that, I took a little ride to the store and I was listening to music, and I just felt like I was in sync. I was listening to some music that was in alignment with the chaos I was just experiencing, so I was having a good laugh at myself. And then after I listened to a song, I had this other song in my head, and I was like, oh, I really want to listen to that song. And before I could go to change to put that song on, it just started playing. And that was just a little cosmic tickle from the universe saying, good work. And I just laughed at myself, and I smiled, and I beamed, and I was like, thank you so much, Great Spirit. I love that. That was beautiful, and I appreciate your little happy surprise. So today, I'm just gonna do some drumming to hold space for the chaos, because it deserves to have its own spot, its own video in itself. It's the heart of the unstuck energy. The great void, the insanity, the chaos, the movement, the melding of the old and the new, the dismantling, the offering in new energy. It's like one swinging that way, one swinging this way, and they can't go this way. They've got to have some intersection. So they're like dropping off feedback. Oh, this, blah, 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 you know, the new's saying something, the old's saying something. They don't meet up, but they got to exchange something before one goes and one comes. And so we're going to hold space for that. Oh, great chaos, eye of the storm. What do you want to channel for us? What can we offer you when we are in the eye of your storm? What insights can you offer us to move through your energy with grace and ease? I would like to dedicate the chaos to the honey badger, because he don't give a fuck. Seriously though, has anybody looked up the honey badger? That animal, if you have a spirit animal, the honey badger, you gotta be crazy strong person. But that magic is potent. Those honey badgers will like go after animals that are a lot bigger than them, and they will get like stung like bees. They'll go steal beehives and be stung a million times, and they don't care. They just go ahead. I'm looking at the wrong spot. So in this video, you're gonna see me look in the wrong spot because I'm just silly tonight. So now I've got my eyes in the right spot of the camera. So the honey badger will go and steal bees' nests. I think it's bees' nests. Yeah, bees' nests. And that thing will just tear through and not care that it's getting stung. Granted, it has very thick skin and it's supposed to. So it'll just go in there and start eating a hive while it's getting stung a million times and don't care. And I think it like also like some kind of ants from South America. Don't quote me on this, but I was reading. It'll just go invade these ants that sting, and they'll get stung by ants as well. And then there's poisonous snakes. I believe there's poisonous snakes that it will eat. It'll just bite its head off. Apparently its body can soak up a certain amount of poison and be okay. What's the biggest animal that it like tries to eat and it's like wild? Like, it's not a huge animal. It's like the size of a skunk or a regular badger, but it's insane. Watch videos on it. There was some memes that were joking about the honey badger a couple years ago, and this guy was just using his voice like, "Is the honey badger? He don't give a fuck. He's just gonna go in there and do it. He's getting stung, and he's just keeps on going. Like, this animal just keeps getting messed up by these poisonous, stinging animals. Like, I think it even eats like scorpions, and it just keeps going. It doesn't even stop. Maybe its leg is swelling up, but it don't care. It just plows through. So I'm bringing the honey badger energy into this chaotic eye of the storm. That's the kind of spirit we definitely want to bring into the chaos. Taking the honey badger into account and saying, I'm going in this crazy and I'm going to get the nectar out. Well, here's another animal that I would attribute to chaos. The male lion. Well, I guess maybe both lions. But I know that lions from the Sahara. Anyways, lion with a big mane. They are only awake 4 hours in a day. And those 4 hours in a day, they're doing a lot of running around to get food. Talk about like some chaos in a short amount of time. They're only awake 4 hours in the day. And that's spent chasing around prey to eat. I'd say that that's kind of chaotic. Granted, the other 20 hours that aren't, just lousing around, and they have to save their energy probably for what it takes to, get the prey, because they got to run around and like seek it out and whatnot. But I'd say the lion endures some eye of the storm chaos to just eat. But it doesn't compare to the honey badger, that's for darn sure. Another animal I could attribute to the chaos would be a hyena. Those animals are funky. An animal that's called a laughing hyena. You hear them, they're they look kind of doggish. But when you hear them, they do sound like they're laughing, and they kind of sound insane in general. And they're kind of just like, I think they got a little bit of the honey badger energy. They just get in there and they try to do whatever they can. They're kind of menacing. They're gonna fuck some shit up. One thing I do know, though, for sure, is when you're in the chaos, when you're in the insanity, slowing down, relaxing, and just giving it space is very helpful. If you're rushing around and doing a million things, there's just something magical about slowing down and working through and processing what you need to process, and observing it and witnessing it from a slow pace. All right, beautiful beings. I think that is a good spot to end with our chaos in the Get Unstuck series. My heart to yours. May you find the peace, the safety, the stability to move through any uncomfortableness, any things that you're fighting against. The chaos does get a whole lot heavier if you fight it and you can't let go. But the more you start letting go into it and allowing and accepting it, the more it will unfold with a lot more ease. All right, beautiful beings, if you like this beautiful energy exchange here, maybe like or comment below, maybe subscribe if you feel called. I also have an offer down below where we could dive deeper on a Get Unstuck session for 45 minutes. It's $97, and we can focus on one thing that you have been frustrated and irritated with and you really want to move forward with. We can pick it apart. We can unravel it so you may move forward and transmute that energy into something different. Because we all know there's usually some place in our lives that is just kind of driving us a little bonkers. We've been hitting a wall, or we've been going through a repetitive loop, and we would like to be done. And so we can unravel that and get a shift going for you. We can do that on video, on the phone, or in Messenger. Whatever feels right to you. I'll hold a container of safety and love while we move through the uncomfortableness. All right, beautiful beings, thank you so much for showing up to receive the message. I love you guys so much. Thank you for going to this process with me.